So yeah, they write basically things like the stories. So we still do that. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Just to demonstrate the different fields that we've got. It's the lifestyle feature for Monday's paper. It's working really quick today, isn't it? I normally do sort of background music at this stage and tell a few jokes and all that. That's all the information. This is how we track every part of every story. Simply the basic name of the story, which always starts off with the publication and the publication date, so that obviously now that we're in an integrated room we can track which paper, what date it's for. It brings in certain bits of information itself. We assign a target section to it, which covers all the papers and all possible sections, motors, news, property, business, or whatever.
And that's also mapped to our web sections, isn't it? Is that right?
Not so much the target sections. We've got a section down there that we fill out for that. Page numbers and page deadlines, obviously, just so that we can get them in some sort of a sensible order. And again, the system itself fills in what we call the lead of the story, first 220 characters, which again, it's completely searchable via the basic opening couple of paragraphs.
It just pulls that from the intro?
It does, automatically extracts it, yeah. And as I say, it's completely searchable. Web section, this is the automatic part of it, that for any, again, and we have a series of drop-down ladders, so you just keep going down the ladder.
And you can add multiple pages too.
You can send it to a different section of every paper if you wanted to. Keep going down, pick whichever section it is until you run out. When the down table subs, the PJs see that it's got a web section in, they know they have to fill in the web headline, which is what will automatically get it loaded. And then to send that particular story here and now onto the web, we have a series of statuses for the stories which just track it around the system. They're on the desk or they're out to sub or they revise. If we do a web upload, then when I close that story down, it will then go straight onto the web. We obviously don't normally do that, but in the normal evening, when every single page is filmed and goes over to the Fort print site, it then picks off every story as it's being filmed and puts them on the relevant web sections. Automatic upload, so that we know by about sort of 7 or 8 in the evening when we start filming pages, it's already taking stories up, or as I say, we can jump the queue and just force it to go up there and then for breaking stuff.
Do you understand to our web editors themselves to decide which stories to project, to add content to? This sort of gets the stories over the fence, as it were, into the web, so that at least Google can pick them up from as soon as they're there. With the actual sort of further development.
And it's tagged and those kind of things that will be done in a later
Yes, yeah, the MMEs will come back and tag.
I'm just curious, you said that the reporters or MMJs wrote the headlines.
It's mostly the PJs.
PJs do the headlines. So what were the sub-editors?
The sub-editors,
But again, obviously they're sort of handling the story.
So you've assigned it to someone now to write a headline for it?
All we do, by putting a status of to sub in, the search that the PJs do is any story, any edition that has a status of sub. Exactly, they sub down it, and if they see a web, sometimes there'll be various stories, little shorts or whatever that we don't want on the web, we don't need on the web, so we just don't fill in a section. The trigger for them is if they see the section filled in, as they're handling it for the paper, they know they've got to do a web headline as well.
And they would obviously prioritise the web stories because they need to go sooner than the print story.
But only if we specifically say that the story want to go up there and then, otherwise they're all going to go up when the page is filmed anyway, which is normally fine by us. But we can jump the queue.
80% of our content is online 10 hours before the paper's available for sale.
But it's possible, obviously, you could finish with the story and suddenly there's another development and you could go back and redo it through the platform anyway.
Absolutely, just replace it on the web. It'll follow the previous version.
It automatically pulls out the one version.
But it's reading all this information, it knows it's got something up there already, it'll put another version up there.
So do you like this content management system?
It really is. It's just so huge and clever compared to the general phrase being that we used to have pretty much the worst system, perhaps in Trinity's region.
What did you have?
We had page speed before DPS typecraft system, which you probably haven't heard of and shouldn't do really. This is now, it really is this is what everyone's looking at, particularly with the automatic web uploads, the searchability and just the links from the database to InDesign and all that. It really is a very smart piece of kit. And it evolves all the time. This is 1.05 we're using. The next version is almost ready. It'll be next maybe a couple of months or something. We'll upgrade basically the same look, but it'll have some other whistles and bells on it as well.
Including this tagging? just inside. What do you call it?
Version 2, I think, is going to have the Einstein tag.
Yeah. What we have at the moment is we've got a huge sort of drop-down list of effectively tags or keywords.
Right.
What we want, and we get next time, is we want an editable field as well. So at least the reporter can type in a slightly strange word that they know will get found on the web. As Mark says, Einstein as well.
It'll learn that word.
Einstein will educate itself and can also actually write a web headline or a précis of the story. It can read all the text. It can make sense for certain words.
So it can write a grammatically correct headline.
Apparently so.
Seems to, yeah.
I mean, that's pretty scary from the point of view of the old subject model.
Yeah, I mean, I dare say we won't get that in this first draft. I don't think. We need this text mining thing that will do the keywords for us. But further along the line, goodness knows what it's going to be doing. Probably in a couple of years' time, it's going to be sitting here talking to a series of guests and just sort of showing them the system, which is, I'm not sure I look forward to that.
Mike, do you want to just to give a very quick impression of the sort of the way we use templates?
Yeah.
Show us a library, perhaps, or...
We'll just pick a blank page up from Monday's paper. First thing it asks us to do is pick a basic background grid for the editorial column widths and the advertising widths. Again, every paper's got its own one set up. The Post has obviously one set up for a left and one set up for a right. So, page 50. That launches just a straight blank page, and we have a number of libraries, again for left and for rights. We can view these actually, just so you can see a little bit more of what they're like. They have single story elements, like a one-column story. You can just drag straight onto the page, write straight into if you want to. It also has, obviously, whole page layouts, for instance, with adverts on. I've just done that wrong. Just bring that in from, because it's a right-hand panel, it's gone just off the page.
Where is your ad dummy? Is it on paper or is it?
It's on the system. Well, we get one on paper as well, which is always reassuring.
Oh.
But no, it exists on the system. We just sometimes print it out just to pass it around a little bit more quickly. And again, we've got about 147 different templates. I mean, there's all sorts. Themed pages, like sponsored business pages. So you don't want to be bringing in individual sponsorships on different pages. So we say there's like 8 pages of commercial property every week. So we say I've got all 8 pages as their own template, and they've got the sponsor in the right place and the gaps for ads and regular things.
That's
like
really easy.
But that's sort of how it comes in. And as I say, we can either send that individual story to a reporter who can pick up just that one. Everything else is locked, and they can write straight into
he has
the
to
sheet.
write to that template.
And they write into there. And obviously the key thing about that is that they get an actual line that says you have now written it off, which is something reporters never seen before. It's just something completely new to them, but it tells them. And they can sort of get their words sorted out. Okay, I've run out of space now, so maybe I need to delete that bit so that I can get in that really important quote, instead of just giving us every single thing.
Sure. There's obviously a notes mode function where they can delete stuff without deleting it, so that, if you reinstate it, you can.
Absolutely, you can mark it all up again as not to show.
And obviously they don't have to wait for you to put the templates up, and they can write it in the meantime and then cut and paste it into the file.
Yeah, what we do with these, particularly with the platform page like the commercial property, automotive, creative, we can set these templates up for any number of weeks in advance effectively. Slice off each element of the page as an individual story with a layout attached to it, and just leave it for them to find. And over the weeks they can say, I've got a great story for automotive for a week on Tuesday. It'll be there ready for them. They can bring it in, right into it, and we can just sit there until we need it. It just misses out that huge chunk of them presenting us with a story and us putting it in a certain basket, bringing in a layout, putting it on the layout. They just write straight onto there.
Of course, the live news, the live business, the live sports stories are, they're written as they happen, and then sent and applied by the multimedia desk editors. So, it's not that this is the only way that we have to work. In fact, we need to do more of this. Then we'll have much more of a natural fill up a news queue of stories. Make judgments on the fly.
With this,
and then that's right.
You went from a broadsheet to a tablet, right?
Yeah.
Did you find that